Well, that definitely made a lot of sense, and I'm glad you explained all that to us. So what do we do now? We all leave the room in the cave and head back to the shrine. The cicadas are chirping loudly, as if trying to remind me my hearing hasn't gone yet. The sun's pretty high in the sky now. With the sun warming up my body, I think about everything Mikoto told me.
空野は俺を助ける未来を選んだ。
Hiro-kun, I think it's better if we don't meet anymore. Serrano's words repeat in my mind again. I just got angry at her for saying that. I never even spared a thought for how she might have been feeling when she said that.
今まで俺は何をしてたんだろうな。ずっと近くにいた人の言葉の意味にも気づけないなんて笑えないな、ほんと。
I mutter out loud without realizing it, and Reina turns to look at me.
さっきミコトが言ってたでしょ。ヒロキの存在はきっと空野にとっては救いだったって。
それはたまたま俺が近くにいただけだ。それなのに結局俺は空野のことを何も分かってやれていなかった。
思うんだけど、それってヒロキが勝手にそう思ってるだけなんじゃないの？空野にとってヒロキが自分のことを正しく分かっているかどうかは重要じゃなかった。むしろ知らなくても一緒にいてくれることが嬉しかったんじゃないの？それをもう一度空野と話してみればいいんじゃない？その上でくよくよし続けるのかどうか考えた方が建設的だと思うけど。
She throws all of that out quickly as if she wanted to say that for a long time, and then sighs.
レーナ。
私また率直にものを言い過ぎてるかも。でも今のヒロキにはこれくらいがちょうどいいかと思って。なんで笑ってるの？
いや、レーナの言う通りだなって思ってさ。
It's just as Reina said. There's no point in trying to guess at what she was thinking. It's far more sensible to just confirm these things directly.
空野がどんなことを考えていたのか、ちゃんと本人の口から聞くよ。
そう。
Reina's expression softens, as if the tension's been drained from her. I'm sure Reina must have felt overwhelmed and unsure after all the surprising things we just heard too.
悪いな。俺はいつも自分のことばっかりで。
ヒロキはむしろ自分を卑下しすぎ。周囲の人たちに気を使うのはいいけど、自分を存在に扱いすぎてる。
そうなのかな。
そうなの。だからあんまり自分を卑下しないで。
Reina's words cheer me up a little. These past few days have been Reina's constantly been supporting me and keeping me grounded.
ほら、早く空野と通信をつないでみて。
ああ、わかった。
I go to turn on my MRD, only to remember that I'm an idiot and have forgotten something very important.
しまった。こいつ充電が切れてるんだ。
え、そうなの？
ああ、充電しようと思ってた矢先に例のやつらに襲われたから。
そう。今は葵の家に戻るわけにもいかないし、チャージスポットを使うしかないわね。
Charging spots are locations where you can quickly charge your MRD. They're usually located in places people pass through often, like stations, public facilities, large shopping centers, universities, and along streetlights. I believe there should be one at the department store. It's not that far from here either.
チャージスポットか。 そうなると大通りに出るしかないな。
If everyone can charge it with Wi-Fi, why do we need to? Why would this need to be like a public thing? Unless we have like a new model, and you know, not all of them have it. It's only like the fancy ones. I prefer not to go to places where there's a lot of people. It's been a good amount of time since the police sent out wanted notices for us. There's a pretty good chance someone will recognize our faces from the wanted posters by now.
リスクはあるけど、それ以外に方法はないと思う。様子を見るだけでも近くまで行ってみましょう。
わかった。そうしよう。
It's true that I can't really think of any other way to charge my MRD. And if I can't charge my MRD, I can't talk to Serrano. We start heading for a street that has a charging spot. We cross the signal in front of the shrine and head west down a road with a sign that reads Fuchu. At the corner of the first intersection are 3 charging spots. Unfortunately, there's no one else there. We walk quickly towards the charging spots, while trying to avoid standing out. I head to the one on the far right, and place my MRD on the elliptical plate.
記録が残っちゃうわね。
Reina mutters unhappily. It's true that if I use this charging spot, that it'll leave a record of which terminal I used and at which time.
足がつくのは覚悟の上だ。この数日だけでもなんとかなればいい。
わかった。私はさりげなくあたりの様子を伺っておく。
We've spotted him. He's charging his wristwatch.
ああ、頼んだぞ。
I start charging. Oh, that's a bad noise. An AR display pops up saying 10 minutes remaining. I think back to one of my professors talking about how it used to take hours to charge things back in the day. Compared to those days, charging is a lot faster now. But right now, even those 10 minutes feels like a lifetime.
そっちに異常はないか？
今のところは。
I casually glance around the street and see crowds of people walking down it. Thanks to the aftermath of that explosion a few days back, a good number of side streets leading to Fuchu Station are still blocked off. In addition, Fuchu Station itself is closed off. Despite all that, it feels like there's even more people here than usual for a weekend.
それにしても人が多いな。
It looks like something's caught Reina's attention. I follow her gaze and see a group of yukata-clad girls walking down the street.
そうか。今日は夜に祭りがあるんだ。
The summer festival to herald the season's end. There's going to be a fireworks festival at the Tama River, and there's a bunch of stalls lined up in the area. Serrano used to love going to this festival every year, and so Kakeru and I would get dragged along every time.
お祭りって素敵な響きね。それに日本の浴衣は色彩感覚が絶妙で好き。
Reina seems bewitched as she stares at the girls walking by. Looks like Reina's got an interest in yukatas.
浴衣くらいお前も普通に着ればいいだろ。
そんな簡単に言わないで。すごく勇気がいることなんだから。
いや、今だったらそんな高くないのも売ってるし、そこまで敷居は高くないぞ。
そういう問題じゃないの。私にはうまく着こなせるかどうか。
Reina turns away as she says that. So she's just worried she won't look good in one, but she can't bring herself to say it straight up. After thinking about it for a bit, I finally speak up.
いや、
yeah, probably look good in one.
いいわよ。気を使ってお世辞なんて言わなくても。
Reina's looking more and more embarrassed. I really do think one would look good on you, though. Oh well, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. We both wait around awkwardly for my MRD to finish charging.
ちょっと聞きたいんだけど。
No, I don't, actually. Suddenly, I hear a voice behind me. I turn around and see a kindly old lady standing behind me. But looks can be deceiving. She might be a JCO agent, or with the police. Reina and I tense up.
何ですか?
I step forward, trying to block Reina from her line of sight. The old lady pulls out a map on her MRD and asks,
この公民館にはどっちに行ったら着くの?
Why don't you just use, like, fancy future wristwatch maps? Yeah, don't you got a map there? Just figure it out. Oh, she's just asking for directions. I try to keep my face hidden as much as possible as I direct her, and then return to the charging spot. It was an innocuous conversation, but it still left me exhausted. I let out a long sigh as Reina pats my back a little to comfort me.
そんなに緊張してたら怪しまれないものも怪しまれる。
いや、なんか俺の顔がすごく見られてるような気がしたんだ。
気のせいよ。私から見たらさっきの人は道を確認するので精一杯という感じだった。
まあそうなんだけどな。
The moment you start suspecting one person, you start thinking everyone that passes, families, students, literally everyone, is staring at you and whispering.
大丈夫。こんなに通行人が多いのはかえって好都合だと思う。誰もすれ違う一人一人の顔なんて真剣に見てはいないもの。
まあ確かにそうかもな。
Now that I think about it, it's not like I really study the face of everyone I pass when I'm walking down the street normally either. However, anyone who's acting even a little strange will instantly attract attention. So it'll be better just to act naturally to avoid standing out.
待って。
Rainin? Who is Rainin? Voice turns grim.
横断歩道の方。
Reina doesn't shift her gaze at all and points with her finger. I take a sidelong glance in the direction Reina's pointing and see a police officer heading towards us.
まずいな。
早く行きましょう。
I check the AR display and see that my MRD is already 82% charged. It'd only take one more minute to fully charge, but we don't really have time to wait that long.
行こう。
This much charge should last us for now. I take my MRD off the plate and put it back on my left wrist.
何気ない感じで通り抜けるぞ。
Reina nods silently. The police officer finishes crossing the street and starts approaching us. We leave the charging spot and try to pass right by him, but suddenly I feel something grab my left hand. I've been focusing my whole attention on the police officer, so I jump in surprise. I look over and see Reina's hand holding mine.
いいから、このまま。向こうの交差点まで歩いて横断歩道を渡るわよ。
わかった。
Man, our character is so boring looking. While we're talking, I see the police officer start up his MRD out of the corner of my eye. It looks like he's contacting someone. Don't tell me he's realized who we are. I'm about to break into a run, but Reina stops me.
落ち着いて。そのままやり過ごせば大丈夫だから。
ああ、すまない。
信号が変わる。少しだけ急ぎましょう。
We speed up a little as the signal starts to flash that it's about to change, and just barely cross in time. Alright, we managed to put a whole intersection's distance between us and that police officer.
このまま裏道に回った方がいいな。
そうね。
I pull Reina with me down one of the side streets. Stop there, criminal scum! We put as much distance between us and the main street as we can, and stop at a small park on the outskirts of town. There's a few families in the center of the park where the playground is, but the water fountain and the clearing and the trees are completely empty, so we hide ourselves there.
もう大丈夫そうね。
People probably won't come here, so we can talk here without getting interrupted. I'm still holding hands with Reina. I'm not sure if I should let go now or not. I stare at Reina's hand and realize she's staring at mine too. Thank you, Reina.
ありがとう、レナ。
何が？
とっさに起点を聞かせてくれて、おかげで助かった。
別になんてことないわ。うまくいってよかった。
We smile at each other and eventually let go of each other's hands.
立ってるのもなんだし、座ろう。
そうね。
I sit down on one of the chairs near the water fountain. Reina sits down the one across from me. The sound of the water is quite pleasing, and I watch the jet spray out over and over.
さて。
I take a deep breath. The time has finally come to ask Serrano. However, I hesitate to touch my MRD. I'm scared of turning it on. Even though I've spent so much time with Serrano, I'm afraid a completely different girl is going to show up in front of me. A completely new sense of nervousness assails me.
大丈夫。怖がらなくてもいい。
It looks like Reina senses my hesitation. I strengthen my resolve and turn on my MRD to call Serrano.
あ、ヒロ君。また会えたね。
I look at Serrano a little guardedly. I try to say something, but I'm not sure what to say. Serrano looks around with a worried expression.
ヒロ君とレイナちゃん、どうして外にいるの？
ちょっと気分転換をしたくてね。
I'm unwilling to talk about the events of last night just yet, so I go with the safe answer.
かける君とお姉ちゃんは？
They're dead. However, Serrano continues with an even more difficult question to answer.
ああ。
I'm not sure if I should just say it or not. I can't decide what to say next.
もしかして何かあったの？
Serrano asks nervously. If I can't be honest here, then why did I call Serrano out at all? I steel myself and speak.
実はあの後、俺たちは襲われた。多分 JCO が差し向けてきたんだと思う。カケルはその時に怪我をして、救急車で病院に運ばれた。
そんな。
No, I've got no idea. Hopefully he's not dead.
そう思いたいが、はっきりしたことは言えない。
お姉ちゃんは？
おそらくそいつらに連れ去られた。
Or maybe she was orchestrating the whole thing? Who knows?
ごめん、ソラノ。俺が止められていればよかったのに。
ヒロ君のせいじゃないよ。レイナちゃんも無事でよかった。
Serrano's just trying to be considerate, I can tell. She smiles faintly, but her bright expression looks like it could vanish at any second. She's clearly forcing herself to look cheerful. That's just how Serrano always is, hiding her own worries so as to not worry others.
ヒロ君？
I'm finally able to talk to Serrano again, but the words just won't come out right.
ソラノ、あなたがいない間、新しいことが分かってきたの。
Reina takes over and starts speaking for me. Then, as if saying, "The rest is up to you," she nods to me.
その、 神社で巫女っていう巫女に会ったんだ。
It looks like Serrano's already guessed where this is going. That we heard from Makoto about the things Serrano was always worrying about.
そっか。
ごめん。空野のこと、今まで気づけなくて。
私もずっと言わずにいてごめんね。ヒロ君を信用してなかったとか、そういうわけじゃなくて。
ああ、わかってる。あえて言わなかったんだろう。
ヒロ君はそんな私をそのまま受け入れてくれたよね。
I mean, I kind of just thought you were like a normal person.
私このままでもいいんだって初めて思えた。それがとても嬉しかった。ヒロ君と一緒にいた時、心から安心して笑うことができた。私ヒロ君に会えてよかった。
空野。
She could laugh without worrying. She was glad to have met me. I was able to hear those words directly from Serrano. All of my worries about Serrano melt away in an instant.
でもこうやって本当の気持ちを言葉にしても、他の人にはそれが嘘か本当かなんてわからないんだよね。
Serrano looks at me sadly.
私記憶だけになってから他の人が何を考えているのかわからなくなっちゃったんだ。
そうなのか。
他の人の心がわからないことがこんなに不安になるものだなんて思ってもみなかったよ。
Serrano hangs her head.
できればずっと言いたくなかった。でもミコトさんが話したってことはきっと必要だってことなんだよね。
ああ、空野が選択をしなきゃいけなかったことも聞いた。
選択？
やっぱりそれも覚えていないか。
I gently explained everything. How Serrano had to choose between protecting me or protecting the balance of the world, whatever the heck that means, in that she chose me. In that she saved me hoping that I'd be able to preserve the world's balance as well. A best case scenario. That she believed in my potential. Serrano just listens quietly, nodding at my words. After I finish talking, Serrano closes her eyes and thinks for a while. Then she slowly opens her eyes and smiles.
何度思い出そうとしてもダメだな。少し前の私はそんなことを考えてたんだね。
So Serrano really doesn't remember. The Jesu probably sealed away any memories holding important information. Serrano's expression changes again.
今の私はこれ以上ヒロ君が危険な目に遭わないでほしいと思ってる。でも死んじゃう前の私はまるっきり逆でヒロ君に託すって決めたってことだよね。どちらも同じ私が考えたことなのになんだか難しいね。
Serrano smiles sadly. Reina stretches out her hand to Serrano.
そこまで難しい話でもないわ。そのヒロキを信じるという選択をした過去の自分を今の空野が信じてくれるだけでいい。過去の自分を信じる。そう。そしてあなたが未来を託したヒロキのことも信じる。簡単でしょ？
Those words cheer both Serrano and me up.
私思い出せないことがあるって分かってからすごく不安だった。死んじゃう前にできてたこともできなくなっちゃって、私が私じゃないみたいで、
今のこの自分の記憶も偽物なのかなって疑っちゃって、一体何を信じていいのかわからなかった。でもヒロ君を信じたっていう自分のことなら信じられる。私はヒロ君やレイナちゃん、
This nice rainbow
出
we
会
got
ってき
back
たみん
here.
ながこれからも幸せに暮らせる世界であってほしい。その気持ちだけは信じられるよ。
The concern disappears from Serrano's expression.
他人の心がわからなくても誰かを信じられるのってなんだかとても不思議な感覚だね。不思議だけどなんだか温かくて嬉しい。ヒロくん、お願い。穏やかな世界を。
わかった。
This is the first time Serrano's directly entrusted something to me. All of the things I've been worrying about up until now feel trivial in comparison. Restore balance to the world. That's all I need to worry about now. And now I guess now we're okay with her being, wiped away in a couple days, maybe. Reina's just watching us quietly, but when she sees me looking at her, she smiles at me kindly. If Reina hadn't been here, I don't think I'd be able to talk to Serrano like this right now.
世界の均衡が崩れつつあるということについてだけど、どう考えても JCO が絡んでいる話だと思う。
Reina's words bring me back to reality again.
そうだな。俺もそう考えてた。
次の目的はソラノの記憶データにおかしな点があったことと、どうしてソラノが死ななければならなかったのか、その理由をつなぐ明らかな証拠を見つけることね。そのつながりが証明できれば、これら一連のことが JCO によるものだということがわかる。
Reina looks back at Serrano.
ソラノ、辛いかもしれないけど、あなたが事故に遭ったという場所までついてきてもらってもいい？
うん、もちろん。
ソラノ、ありがとう。
We stand up.
その前に一旦どこかで身を隠そう。日が落ちて人通りが少なくなってからの方がいい。
There's quite a bit of distance from here to the place where Serrano died. Moving around too much in broad daylight is too risky.
そうね。体力的にも少し休んだ方がいいと思う。
We leave the park and head for a place with no people. A nuclear waste plant. Then once the sun begins to set, we make our way back to the site of the accident, careful to avoid anyone we saw. But